it's me, Jess. Welcome to my channel. I'm here with another channeled message. This is a specific message. It might resonate with you, it might not. And boy, is that true for this one. This, I cannot imagine this is going to resonate with a lot of people, but you never know. I feel like this message is connected to another message that I think I did a few weeks ago now. It was about a karmic masculine, and I titled it something like, "This is the worst karmic energy that I've ever seen," because this karmic masculine energy was really a mastermind behind the scenes. He was so well hidden, and I think he tries to come off like a king of pentacles kind of figure, but really he's a king of swords. There's some kind of like maybe high level long-term strategy at play, and he's really trying to hide the fact that he is so conniving and that he is so calculating. I feel for some of you there's going to be some overlap here. Now, getting into the heart of this message though, when I was tapping into this energy, I immediately heard the prologue to Romeo and Juliet. So there could be some Romeo and Juliet kind of energy that is going on here, but hear me out, okay, with this prologue energy. It starts off, it goes, two households, both alike in dignity. I feel like this is referencing two families here. Two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona, where we lay our scene. So maybe Verona or Italy is somehow connected here. From ancient grudge. Okay, so there's an old grudge here, either in this lifetime perhaps. I feel like it would be something stupid and a very weak individual, if not individuals. This is something like, I lost a Scrabble game and I literally never forgot it. Or I felt slighted and my ego was bruised in such a way that instead of fostering an internal strength and emotional strength and learning how to take that in my stride or learn a lesson, instead I just devolved into absolute weakness and treachery. And actually, before we move on, I have been hearing this in the readings or just in my mind as I've been channeling, but I never knew like when it was supposed to come out. But Spirit has been trying to link these two things in my mind, where cowardice and cruelty go hand in hand. Cowardice and cruelty go hand in hand in this karmic masculine. He's extremely weak. He does not make his moves in the daylight. That's why he hides. That's why he's the backbiter. That is why he is the betrayer. Because to be seen in the light is to be seen as wrong. It is to be seen as pathetic, and it is to be seen as for the weakness that it is. I mean, there's some kind of psychopathology, I feel like, that would be exposed in this man here as well. And this karmic masculine really does try to dawn the that dawn. Is really coming out here, because dawn, I feel like, is a, like, dawn, like, is it sir or something in Spanish? Or I feel like it's a term of, like, not just endearment, but like authority. But he really does try to dawn the face of the King of Pentacles, you know, being well-rounded, being the spinning image of like society, but he is conniving. He's a conniver, he's a betrayer, he's a backbiter, he's a weakling, to be honest with you, but he doesn't want to be seen that way. So back to this prologue. Sorry, I got to back up here. In fair Verona, where we lay our scene, from ancient grudge break to new mutiny. From civil blood make civil hands unclean. From forth the fatal loins of these two foes. Right? This is their children. This is their seed, right? From forth the fatal loins of these two foes, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life. So there's, I feel like there could have been this kind of lovers energy, but this is like some kind of, there's karma wrapped up with these souls in these particular families that they were born into, where, because I've heard that like when a child kind of goes to the family that they're to incarnate with, there's different ways that kind of happens, right? But sometimes you can get like summoned or like called in or called forth. And I feel like there's some karma playing out here with these children's souls, whether this is like a child or a grandchild here of this karmic masculines, because again, these are two families that are like ancient foes. And I feel like this is past lives. This is this life. It goes back like a long way. So even if they don't know each other all too well, that might be a relevant song here. But even if they don't know each other, that energy of like, I hate you and you are my long-standing enemy and you are my foe is like still there between these two families, right? And each of these, the children, these fatal loins of these two foes, right? I feel that there's some karma here where they got called in as pawns, like in this like overall scheme. So I feel like their karma is to strengthen their own internal strength, to strengthen their core, to not be utilized in this plan. And that would be different for each of them. I think like you know, it could be people pleaser energy. They just want to please their granddad, or they just want to please this or that, right? And then I believe there's some karma to be worked out here between them and this like star-crossed lover energy. But there's death energy here. And I feel like there was death energy in a past life. It's scorpionic, and it is coming from this karmic masculine who has placed it here between these two karmic lovers, or these, it could be soulmate lovers. Take this however it resonates. Because I think for some, these karmic children, this also could link to another one of the readings that I did where not too long ago, where there was one of these people was actually gay, but they knew that was never going to be accepted. So they became very strategic in their relationships. For some, that is a part of this. It could be. And that's why maybe they're so susceptible to being led by this karmic masculine energy and kind of forming this relationship. And it probably would take very little emotional manipulation or sweetening the deal with some kind of monetary promise, like I'll leave you this in the will, or I'll give you the family business if you marry this person, you know, or they might even know that they're gay and they're like, listen, just like cheat on the side. But that scorpionic energy does rule over money after marriage. So there could be a promise of that money after marriage. At the very least, though, I do feel that we've got this karmic masculine here, which I think is like a patriarch of a family. And I don't know how far back that would go, grandfather or just a father or something here. We've got a faux king of pentacles, which is this karmic masculine that I've been describing. And we've got this actual king of pentacles that I feel like has maybe actually built, maybe has strong standing in the community, maybe has built a successful family business by the right road, by the right principles. And it's sort of the dream, and there's some manifestation power here, but it's coming from a very deep, dark, very horrible place with this karmic masculine. He may just have fantasized about the downfall of this King of Pentacles for so long instead of just healing and moving on. And it's just, I can't even begin to encapsulate the monument to his own weakness that he's created, but he just doesn't see it that way because cowardice connects to cruelty. And this man thinks cruelty is strength. And he wants to make this other man like crumble and cry. And I think he wants to control his finances or his reputation, his lineage through like a child or a grandchild here by combining their families. And there's some sort of transference where he wants this face of this genuine King of Pentacles, the dignity, the respect, the social standing to somehow transfer over to him via this like strategy and plan that he's put in place of sending, I think, his own grandchild towards this other person's grandchild, or his own child after this person's child. And he's orchestrated kind of the whole thing behind the scenes. And some of them would have done it more directly, you know, saying, listen, you're going to go after this person. I'm going to sweeten the deal. You're going to get this or you're going to get that. Or listen, our family is struggling and I need you to steal from this other family. Like whatever. For some, it's more direct. For others, it wasn't their own lineage, but I think it probably was for most of you. They could have hired some kind of schmegs worker. That's another one of the readings that this may actually connect into. And again, this would be so hidden, because I feel like he's so hidden. Like you probably don't even know this foe exists. This like long-standing beef exists. It would never cross your mind. And certainly somebody being so incredibly weak, and I'm going to keep saying that because I think he thinks he's cool doing this. This is so dishonorable, but it's also just weak and sad and pathetic. Like when you see it for what it is, it's so sad. Like whenever you see this, you know, he thinks that this is strength, and he thinks that it's going to bring some kind of like honor, and he wants it to be on the back of this other King of Pentacles, this long-standing foe of destroying what he has built, or destroying his reputation, or somehow having like turning his grandchild against him, or like either his child or his grandchild or this child that they will have, like, you know, in some way. But literally it also may involve death of some kind, and that could be even like energetically but this doesn't feel like any death though. This feels like a tragic, traumatic death. And maybe he wants to inflict that on this King of Pentacles, but this would be through an emotional space, through the betrayal or the trauma here, to see him kind of whittle away at the horror of like whatever has gone on. But so, and again, this could be happening through manifestation. I think there may be some kind of connect to maybe even if this is an ancient grudge, some kind of ancient magical practice, or some kind of ancient secret society with like some level of magical energetic school attached to it, that maybe even in that lifetime this karmic masculine dabbled in some of that, and it's still at play. Like it set a certain pattern, and it's still kind of at play here. But I think it involves scorpionic energy. It may involve death. It may involve betrayal. And it could involve schmegs. So like sending this grandchild, for instance, like towards this other unsuspecting, like unwitting victim here. using schmegdual energy, using some kind of hidden secret strategy to get up close to them. And literally this karmic masculine may just have strategized to get them in the same place as each other, you know? Hey, go work at this place, or sent somebody here towards this other grandchild to offer them a job working for their family tree so that they could bring them into their family business and then bring them into their family and control them. This is creepy. This is weird. This is stalking. This is subtly stalking. This is horrible, horrible energy that is playing out here. And it's really hard for me to tell like how these two, like, I want to say grandchildren, but again, like how they actually feel about each other. For some, I think they may actually be soulmates of some kind, but probably friendship soulmates, to be honest with you. Like, they don't actually have a problem with each other. They both just got caught up in this old man's game, is kind of what I'm getting. And they have more or less like stronger senses of self than each other. They both probably, I think they're both enemies to this karmic, like this karmic masculine is an enemy, is a karmic to both of them, to everybody involved in this situation. It's really this one karmic guy, but it's like he's using his position and some kind of, it could be a hidden emotional strategy. It could be, again, like Scorpio's other people's money. So he could be taking out loans, or he could be leveraging like other people's money, or trying to gain, again, the access to this King of Pentacles money, maybe through a marriage and through like after death or something, you know, or merging their businesses. But I feel like this karmic masculine would have built upon the wrong principles. And I feel like that's a major karmic lesson here as well. And that's a part of the whole, part of the karmic lesson for these two souls that keep getting sucked in to be used as pawns in this karmic masculine's game, is to strengthen their own core. To strengthen their, it's like really giving second and third chakras here. So some kind of schmegdual energy, this could be having some kind of standards, like being much more on guard. Like, and I'm hearing it's not enough for somebody to be attractive on the outside. You really have to get to know, like, because I feel like there's potentially an unattractiveness. Because for some, like, one of these grandchildren, this karmic masculine's grandchild is like fully cooperating with this. Like, actually thinks, like, so, and the other part is like a part of strengthening that core is strengthening your values. Because I feel like these two really, they don't value each other. They have very different values, you know, and that's a part of this transference that I'm seeing this karmic masculine wanting to enact here, because he's wanting to blame this genuine King of Pentacles lineage for the problems in the relationship, you know, and getting somebody into a marriage. It's like it gives somebody, their partner, a lot of authority in the marriage to say who they are as a person behind closed doors, and to potentially do a lot of damage to somebody's reputation, a family's reputation. You know, because again, those scorpionic themes, hidden abuse, trauma, schmegdual discretion, you know, and I feel like this karmic masculine would have infused, it's all infused in his side of things with like those narcissistic tactics. He's probably, I keep hearing pathology. There is some kind of pathology, criminal pathology, something wrong with his man in his mind, but he covers it very, very well. He likes to don a face of dignity and of, again, a King of Pentacles, something like that. But it's the narcissistic tactics of facade management, first of all, but projecting what somebody else is actually doing. So again, he might have said, look, I'll sweeten the deal. I'll give you the family business. If you can trap this person in a marriage, just cheat on the side. So this person could be cheating, but then blaming this other person of deserving it or cheating it or being shmishmusive or like, you know, whatever. Like, blaming this other person. There's a real like kind of transference, saying that this person, and again, this has to do with ending, but Scorpio's trauma ending, it's strategic ending. And for some of you, I think this involves some kind of death. I mean, this is an extreme situations. And actually, as I said that, I just saw Chris Watts in my mind. If you don't know who that is, don't look it up. It's traumatizing, but you probably do, because that was such a big story that he was a family annihilator, right? And this definitely could have happened in the past. Like in past lives, like in the ancient times. I don't know how this would have happened in these times. But you know what's weird is I remember watching an interview with Chris Watts, or maybe it wasn't an interview. No, it was. But it was after he'd been convicted, and the detectives went back to like, they still felt like they wanted answers, and they felt like they had the rapport with him to get them. And he was describing like when he was actually doing it to Shanann, his wife, which was his first victim, that he didn't know why he was doing it. He felt like the deal was just sealed. Like it was just like kind of put into motion. And I'm not excusing him and like his culpability in it, not by any means. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, I wonder if that was some kind of like, it's happened in so many lifetimes, or like, it's like some kind of again, like energy that like summoned him or like was working through him or something. Like, again, he's culpable. That's why he's got karmic lessons that are involved in this. He needs to strengthen his core, which is obvious, right? It's obvious. He's such a weak person. He's a coward. And that's the irony of that case, is he did what he did because he's a coward. And he couldn't simply just have a divorce or break off his affair. Like, he's just a coward. And so it ended in this like brutal, and then to this day, Chris Watts's family, especially his mother, like tries to blame Shanann. Like, I get it. Maybe you didn't like her. Like, maybe you didn't like her personality. You think she posts on social media so much. So what? She's the victim in this case. I mean, clearly, so it's crazy. I feel like there's some kind of like family drama like that, where in modern times, it might not even look like, okay, well, these two families and their family lineage, it's like, ancient, and there's some kind of ancient grudge that's playing out here on a karmic level, on an energetic level, even into modern times. But that's just, again, and that is such an extreme example, but it even could be like, I don't know, like the loss of a child, to an illness, or, something like that. But there's strong death energy here, and I feel like there will be. But again, going back to the Romeo and Juliet thing, a pair of star-crossed lovers take their life. And just like in that case, I feel like there isn't a death energy, which doesn't have to be an actual death, right? But there's not going to be betrayal and dishonor or something to one without it also marring the other one. Okay, because it's like horns, like kind of locked in battle here. But I do think that there is a higher vibrational, like, soulmate, like coming from one of these lines that like doesn't want to fight and is actually maybe a part of, maybe these two souls that keep getting drawn into this as pawns, they have something that the other one needs in order to help strengthen up that core. And that's like the karma being worked out between the two of them. Because even if this is romantic, or if there is a schmegdual like attraction, or it's seen as strategic, that's how I feel like their connection would seem. It would be forged on schmegdual energy, or some kind of like, well, this seems strategic, and that might be like a shared culture or a seeming, but one person here might be faking some kind of values in order to get to the other person that they don't actually have. Because there's somebody here that's deeply dishonorable, and I think it comes from this karmic masculine's side of things, this karmic masculine's lineage, which is again why, that would be the karmic lesson here, because this other soulmate that actually embodies values, or was taught to, that honor is better than honors, and, actually was instilled with values, they have to really live those out. Because if they do that, then when they see this other person, they'll notice the holes in their story, is what I'm hearing. They'll notice that they don't actually meet their values, that it's scorpionic, it's strategic, maybe in order to get something after money here, like. And it could be that somebody here was targeted for a partnership in order to get back at like a long lost enemy. But that person that was targeted, it could be that they just bring a certain level of charisma or a skill set needed to build up their business in order to rival somebody else's business. I mean, it could go any which way here. But you have somebody who's very Machiavellian. You've got this karmic masculine that is high in dark triad traits. Psychopathy, all of it, especially psychopathy and Machiavellianism. There's a real strategy here. And, all of them, narcissism as well, because he definitely has that as well. He's just so self-centered, and he's brought a lot of other souls into his little game, and he thinks that makes him strong, but it's only because he cannot go toe-to-toe with this King of Pentacles, or even other energies that aren't even on the level of this King of Pentacles. He cannot hold his own. He can't rival. He wants to rival. But he can't even hold his own in the light of day. So again, he mistakes cruelty for strength. And I do feel this is being found out, or his plan's unraveling is what I'm getting. And I'm picturing the magic carpet unraveling from Aladdin. There could be some like Aladdin-esque elements here. And it could be an Aladdin-like type figure that was targeted, you don't have very much money, but why don't you come over here? Because with your charisma, I can actually build up my business. I can get you married to my child, and I can then rival this King of Pentacles, or whatever. I don't know. But I just saw that in my mind. But I feel like something's unraveling. And I'm hearing a song from Halsey. I can't remember which one it is, but she's like, I told my new roommate not to let you in, but she's so damn good with a bobby pin. So it could be bobby pin. That's really standing out to me. Oh, okay. So there could be a pin that records stuff. You really want to watch that. Oh, signing a contract as well. You want to watch that with this person. A work contract. Yeah, getting somebody to sign a contract. But she's so damn good with a bobby pin. Bobby pin. I don't know what's a bobby. Is it Bobby something? That sounds Australian. Maybe down under. In a land down under. Aussie. Something here. I don't know. Bobby pin standing out to me. Maybe somebody's name is Bobby. Holding pin. I don't know. There's something about that I'm not really getting. So somebody here is like good at picking locks. They're good at like getting behind. They see what's like behind. They're asking like the right questions. So if this person's like, oh, you asked too many questions, or they're trying to throw you off the scent, like just know that you're like onto the trail. But this also could be intuition. This could be just somebody's really good at solving puzzles or problems. Like there's something here they're not going to get away with. Their lie is unraveling is what I'm getting. Like their facade management tactics is unraveling. I feel like this person is meant to be seen for who they are. Like at the peak of their, I'm hearing the word destiny. This karmic masculine thinks that it's their destiny. This karmic masculine is a karmic masculine. All of this is built upon ego and just the strength of his like own perverted will. And he can't see that clearly. He thinks it's his destiny because he's been successful. He's been successful long enough to build himself up on a pedestal, and then the light's going to shine on him, and all the little roaches and the bugs are going to like kind of come out, because I feel like there is a social component to this where there's like a collective that needs to look at this karmic masculine and see him for what he really is, and to see that cowardice and cruelty are closer linked. This is not strength. This is extreme cowardice. And that's, I think, what this karmic masculine needs. And I'm literally hearing Jafar, again from Aladdin. That's from Aladdin. Because I wish to be an all-powerful genie, itty-bitty living space. Like, there's just a lot that he could have bound himself in some way. And again, this goes back to the magical practice thing, especially if this was ancient. Like, okay, I just heard the jinn, or there's somebody that wants their comeuppance, some kind of vengeance, some kind of debt is paid due. And I've said this before, but this is why you don't make deals with the devil, right? Which is exactly what he's done. And I feel like when people make deals with that energy, when they collude with it, and cooperate with it, they don't know that that's what they're doing. They're not like, hey, it's the devil energy, right? The short-term solution, as opposed to actually building himself into a King of Pentacles the right way. He wanted to form associates and be in this slime energy, and it was all well and good while he was climbing up the ladder. But the thing about that is, the devil is not king here. So it's God's will. It's the Tao, right? Which is why nature reclaims all things. Societies and civilizations that stood tall, nature will always reclaim that, because that nature is God's energy. Nature is God's building, right? But this energy, this tower that he has built, is destined to fall and be reclaimed, because as soon as you get what you wanted, what you've sacrificed your very everything for, that contract stands fulfilled, because that devil energy got you what it promised, but it never promised to sustain it, because it can't promise to sustain it. You never get to keep that shit. So you don't mess with that energy. You do things the right way. And I feel like that's everybody's kind of, everybody has some level of culpability or like karmic responsibility here. I'm hearing honor is better than honors. I feel like that might be a shared energy here. Honor will retrieve you honors here as well. So maybe this King of Pentacles is teaching that. Like, if you hold to honor, then that's how you build what you want to build, but also that's how you sustain it. That's how you keep it. And this karmic masculine thinks he's on the level as this King of Pentacles, thinks he can rival his methods and whatever he worships over here. And he would probably say he doesn't worship, but he does. And I think he probably tries to give on the impression that he's religious or something, but it's all bullshit. And you can see it you have to actually look at the actions of a person to see what they're actually loyal to. I just heard he's loyal to cash, he's loyal to power, he's loyal to this vengeance, right? So he wants to, as soon as his tower kind of matches what the King of Pentacles tower is, it's only going to be for a moment, and then his is going to fall. Because he built on the wrong principles, or no principles at all. I mean, very little principles here. Yeah. And yeah, there's something here about like tone, notes, like trying to be like music to their ears, but yeah, trying to control. It's through controlling the loins and like mixing the bloodlines, a careful like mixing of that, and targeting a certain person in order to do this. So this is gross, and this is horrible. And I feel like these two, I want to say that these are soulmates here. These two like karmic soulmates that keep getting, but it just feels like they're not, it's meant to be on a friendship level. They're meant to be friends with each other. I think if they're really honest, they just don't have an interest in one another on a schmegsual level. Whatever interest, it was manufactured. And one of these soulmates may have been, again, used in order to manufacture this, because they were taught to lie. They were taught to facade manage. They were taught to pretend like they had values. the same values that this other one did in order to trap them. And I think both of them need to kind of see what's going on here and be like, oh, okay, God bless you. I hope that you can learn how not to be a pawn in this. So when this energy pulls at you on the other side, you don't get incarnated again. And I'm going to work on the same thing. We both need to learn our karmic lessons here and stick to our values. Somebody here needs to find out what their values are, because they were raised in an environment where they just don't have any. It was very strategic. They were taught to strategize and slither around and to facade manage. And that's the way that you build up this King of Pentacles energy. But everything that this family line over here, this karmic masculine's line builds, will crumble. And this will end in some kind of death energy. But I do think, again, honor is better than honors is really coming out here. With a certain amount of honor and dignity, there's that scorpionic death energy, I feel like, is a transformation, some kind of inner transformation out of this energy. And I think this like Romeo and Juliet figures here, these karmic soulmates, it just takes one of them to transform, to graduate out of this and away with this. And all of, like, the spell is broken, is what I'm hearing. Somebody needs to realize that there was some strategy. There could have been strategy to break up an actual relationship that was healthy by sending a schmegs worker in, so that they would go back to a gnarly relationship with, because this person was just determined, this karmic masculine, very determined to suck somebody back into their gravity. Yeah. So this just needs to be seen clearly. And then this all kind of like breaks down. And then again, it's the strengthening of that second and third chakras. So anyways, this was a crazy one. This was a wild ride, ancient grudge, ancient bloodlines. It needs to get put to bed. Everybody that learns their karmic lesson is going to force this karmic masculine to learn his, because there's no more pawns. These souls can't get drawn in and be pawns in his game because they've all learned their, I just heard Ponzi scheme here as well. But I do think there's a determination to take from this real King of Pentacles and to transfer and to say, yes, well, our kids are married and they have, a family together, but that their grandchild is a real bad egg. You have no idea what goes on in that family. And it could be an outright lie. And then they're seen as some kind of authority on this other family, and they really should not have that level of access, because they just don't belong together. These energies, and I actually think that these karmic soulmates belong as friends, and supporting one another. And, I think without this influence, they just have no natural schmegdual interest in one another, or maybe it's only a schmegdual interest and then they go on their way. Because somebody shouldn't be putting on a show that they have values that they don't really have. So anyways, that's what I have for you. If that resonates, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye.